Shri Guru, Shri Guru Padakamalam, Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha, Shri Guru Samsagragatam, Sarvam Raghunathan Tam Sajivam, Sadvaitam Savadutam Parigana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam, Shri Radha Krishna Bhagan, Sangana Lamita, Shri Vishatan Vitamscha, Hare Krishna Karuna Sindhu, Gopika Gopika Kanta, Radha Kanta, Namaste. तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्त हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण. So we're continuing with second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So, yeah. So what are we seeing in the Bhagavad Gita is the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. We are continuing. We are almost at the last part of Bhagavad Gita's second chapter of from the 54th sloka to 27th sloka. All talking about the sthita, the person with steady intelligence. So Krishna is talking about this personality who is kind of a person who can manage difficult situations, who can see through all the calamities in a normal way, who can understand what is happening, who can understand what is the background of certain aspects, who is able to control his senses, who is able to see through that any person in a particular body is the same across multiple different versions. It's all the same Jivatma, but only the body changes. And he's able to see Sukham and Dukkham on the same level. He's able to see Mana, Apamanam also. So Avaman or the Manam. So whatever price or being this one, he is able to see. So in that, all those aspects is called the sthita dhir, one who is not very much attached and at the same time who is not very much averse. So all those things are all pertaining to one personality. And Prabhupada concludes that a person in Krishna consciousness, a person who is able to take up Krishna consciousness seriously and then undergo certain sadhana, undergo certain practices, is nothing but this sthita dhir, or the person with steady intelligence. Okay, and then he is a devotee. So obviously, one who is able to get the gyan, get the knowledge from a typical karma yoga to a jnana yoga position and then to the bhakti yoga position, he will be able to understand and then appreciate the whole concept of having this bhakti. So that means that person is called a sthita. Okay, so that is what we saw. So first section is all about Arjuna surrenders. Second is all about jnana, or all about understanding who we are and then how we have to understand ourselves and the body. Third is all about karma kan, performance of certain actions for which we'll get certain results, and then we have to offer those results back to the Supreme Lord. Then how do we do it is through the buddhi yoga, the intelligence portion. So that we saw. And then the karma yoga, and finally the sthita. So last class we specifically saw on this section, right? Yeah. So chapter 2, we saw all about this particular section, understanding how the mind works. Like, we saw this question specifically, right? We saw, I think, the science of mind and intelligence. So after Karma Yoga, the science of mind and intelligence. One second. Okay. So this science of mind and intelligence we saw, focusing on how do we differentiate between the mind way of working, mind way of thinking, and then performance of actions with intelligence. Okay. So the mind will always do this feeling, willing, thinking, and then how do we differentiate between mind and intelligence? So this portion we saw very clearly. And then we also saw these examples. Okay. So Upanishad also says the same thing. So Jivatma is Upanishad gives this analogy where that particular Jivatma is kind of a passenger sitting in a chariot, in a ratham. And then who's the driver? The driver is the intelligence. So what is the soul's point is, he will tell the intelligence, hey, go this way, go that way. Don't go this way, you have to follow certain instructions. So the intelligence will act accordingly. But what will happen because of the indriyas are nothing but the different kind of horses, which go haywire, which go here and there, and then until it is kind of closed, right? Until it is focused. And then the mind is what the pulling room, right? So the more and more intelligence is used to have that mind controlled, the mind focused, to have that pulled whenever it is going in different directions, all the five horses all kind of hearing, eating, hearing, the mouth, the whatever be the ears, the eyes, and then the sense perception. So all these things gets controlled. Okay, so how do we do that? Is what Prabhupada also gives through specific ways. Instead of some objects in terms of how do we hear, like any kind of loud music, all kind of cinema music, all those things, we have to see how do we channelize it. What do we see? All kind of different things, or only specific things that we see. What we smell, what we touch is also very, very important. Okay, so that is why the nature of the mind is very important to understand. Okay, so this gives a very nice set of analogies that in the Bhagavad Gita also there's a lot of emphasis on how do I understand the mind. Okay? So for some persons, these are the major five kind of categories. This is again from a psychology perspective, from behavioral management perspective, or from a way how mind has to be thought. Like all these psychiatrists and then the so-called hypnotism people and all, we will utilize our mind, utilize our see how we are emotionally attached, our emotional quotient coming out, and see how they can attach. So this is where very importantly it's kind of a science. Once understand to a practical way, then you can apply it accordingly to our own normal day-to-day life, right? So whenever mind goes from one particular thing to another thing immediately, like today you like this, tomorrow you don't like this. Within the one day itself, certain times our mind jumps from one position to another position. Today, somebody will come and influence. No, this is not wrong. You are supposed to do it. Then immediately we will jump. Right? That is called jumping monkey. So it is not stable. It has to be fixed. It has to be this one. So we are not, if you are not very clear, if you are not very firm, it's a jumping monkey. So the monkey's mentality, we know, right? Monkey will never stay in one particular place for a longer time. It has to keep moving. Then only it's called a monkey, right? So that's a jumping monkey. Second is the restless child, crying, never satisfied. Okay, always in a mood of dissatisfaction. Whatever best thing you do, it's okay, I can do it better. It's okay, I could have got this. It's okay. So like that, they are always that unsatisfied state, which is very, very dangerous also. Okay, somebody has to get an happiness depends upon this satisfaction level. Right? So Krishna also mentions when he talks about titikshava karani, when he talks about being tolerant, tolerance requires a lot of satisfaction level. Okay, you have to be like, okay, I'm able to satisfy, I'm able to get this point. Then it will be there. Otherwise, it's always like a crying or a restless child. Sometimes some certain babies are very good, very calm. It will just drink milk. It will just laugh, means it will laugh. It will just go away. But some children are always like very this one, right? So that is where we need to see. That's the same thing is for the mind also. Third is also very, very, very subtle level which we don't know. It's called as unchaste or this one. So it is like how a prostitute will attract women. They will change their tactics. They will change their beauty. They will change certain aspects by which they will be able to allure. They will be able to attract men. Same way, mind also. Today, it will try to act for one particular set of people in one way. But then the same mind, when it comes to somebody else, it will act according to that particular person. So in one way, you say, no, that is true only. No, that is correct only. But then it means we are not in a sthita, we are not in a steady, we are not able to accept certain things as it is. We act according to others' mood and behavior, which means we are not in the right way. So that is called the unchaste. Fourth is was the tamoguna. Tamoguna here means they will just they will never go by whatever is. They just say like, okay, you're saying something, okay, I'll accept. Then other person will come and say, no, you have to go this way. So like how you pour water on a floor or something, it will just follow the path of wherever the shallowness. It is more of shallow, more of. So the more and more it is going through it will keep on going. There's no steady direction. There is no proper direction. It will just like that be wandering here and there, going like, because it doesn't follow certain path, certain procedure. Today somebody will say, oh, this is a new Babaji, new Swamiji has come. Let us all go. He is giving a lot of this one. Then everybody will go. After 2 years, 3 years, then they find out that he has been a cheater, he has been this, and then that's all. They will just, then they will start blaming him. They'll just scolding him. Their energy, they would have spent a lot of money, energy, faith, everything, and then that goes waste. But after some time, they will start blaming everybody. Everybody are like this. And then after some time, somebody else will come and then they will try to see, oh, okay. So they need a shelter, they need a solace, but still their line is. The fifth one is the last we can understand is the wind. Wind is like a lot of turbulence. This will be seen mostly in youth mind because they are not able to balance between their study, their family life, their personal needs, and then their social pressure, friends pressure, all those things will go, and then it will pressurize them like anything. That is called the wind mentality. Wind mentality is like sometimes it will be like very calm, like very normal, and then sometimes nothing will be there. Sunday, Saturday, nothing will be there, and then again Monday it will be like full of high turbulence, high wave. So high or low, it will keep moving. Okay? So this is all different types of nature, which all culminates to one main thing. What is it? How do I know this? What is happening? Okay? The ultimate understanding of this knowledge is what? Whenever, so this five can be combined also. This five can be there for one person, all five, or one person, one type will be very heavy, more, and sometimes it will come and go. But what is the ultimate understanding that we need to know? Whenever you get some kind of a situation, when you talk with somebody, where in your situation, you see like what is the majority of thing that is happening. Okay, then you can make proper decisions, proper understanding. So a sthita person will see all these five, and then he will be able to take proper nice decisions. Okay, that is why Krishna gives very elaborate understanding about this in 20 slokas, because this, until you get this thing very clear, stabilized, you will never get into bhakti, or you will never be able to get jnana, knowledge also. Okay, so for you to lead a successful life, you need to have a very stable mind, calm, composed, intelligent way, right? Even in normal material life also. So Bhagavad Gita also gives that particular section in which Krishna gives this, so that once you are very clear with a controlled mind, with the senses control, which requires a lot of endurance, a lot of practice, right? Then you will get bhakti. So that is what Krishna concludes in the last section of the Bhagavad Gita. This particular chapter, even Bhagavad Gita, the last chapter also this. So this is what we saw. Like how do we conquer through all these ways, like meditation, yoga, proper discipline, and then proper tolerance habits, regulating our food, regulating our sleeping time, making time management very clearly, and withdrawing certain situations. Certain situations will be very provoking, very this one. So we need to withdraw from that particular situations. Okay, sometimes we will be succumb to such situations, and we will be. So we need to do that. Okay, and then channelizing, like how do we do? Most important thing is dependence on the Lord. We need to be very dependent on somebody. We are already dependent, right? We don't think we are masters, right? Certain, even for a small thing, we are 100% dependent on somebody. But the same dependence we put on the faith we put on the Supreme Lord for help, for anything, then that becomes more steady, because our shraddha is the first goal or first foundation in which our bhakti will grow. Okay, so with that foundation being very strong, shraddha. Okay, shraddhaya, even many slokas, Prabhupada and Krishna calls this shraddha as the foundation goal for our bhakti. So that is what second chapter is also mainly. And then what is the highest achievement? Somehow or other, yes, I know where I am, I know my situation, I am doing my self-diagnosis, my self-way, and I know the Supreme Lord, I know the Bhagavan, I know somebody. So somewhere or other, I need to establish that relationship, establish that connection through known association, no devotees and everybody, and then I will follow that path. I'll follow the particular thing, so that it becomes very strong, steady, faithful, and also ensure that relationship gets more and more stronger. Okay, that is what is the main point. Okay. Yeah, some tips you can see. Be in this world, not on this world, like that. Release the higher taste, obey the laws, the simple living higher. I think these are some of the things that we have seen. And channelizing is also mainly important. How do I channelize certain aspects? Through the same karmendriyas and jnanendriyas, the indriyas, how do I channelize it accordingly? Okay. For example, somebody wants to listen all kind of rock music, and then this music, Korean drama, this, that, and all means. Then accordingly, you try to see within bhakti itself, within satsangam itself, there are so many rock music, this, that going on. So that the indriyas are getting tripti, indriyas are getting fulfilled. At the same time, it is more from a useful bhakti perspective. Like that, you can categorize accordingly and then try to engage ourselves. The more and more people will say, oh, Saturday, Sunday means free time. Actually, the free time should not be there. You should be completely engaged. The free mentality, free time means it will all nonsense things will come and sit on us. But if you are always kind of put in a particular scheduled way, even recreation also, Krishna says, eating, sleeping, and recreation is also part of our schedule. So you want to take a break, but that recreation also can be nice way, so that is also properly engaged. Okay? That is what we can understand. So these are all the main sections about the last he gives some specific examples also. This is a very nice example. Yada samharite chayam kurmangani sarvasaha indriyat indriyatebhyat tasya pragyam parishyata. Like we give this analogy of this tortoise. So whenever there is an issue or something comes, this I think we saw is last class also. So tortoise will pull its limbs, right? So what is the solution? Finally, last 6 sloka to 72 sloka. Last 6 sloka, Krishna talks about this prasadam. What is prasadam? Is nothing but the mercy. Okay. Prasade sarva dukkanam hanyaso bhajati. Prasanna chetato hiyastu buddhir pariyachate. So the prasade means what? We say prasadam, right? What is prasadam? In South Indian temples, if you go prasadam means they'll do some small, they'll give some turmeric, or they'll say kumkum, or they'll give you vibhuti, or they'll give some white ash, and they'll give some tirtham also, they'll give some tulasi. So those are all considered prasadam, which means that is directly from the Lord. And some temples, they'll give you nice food also, right? Even they'll give some flowers. Whatever that comes from the temple is called a prasadam, right? What is that is coming is actually the Lord's blessings, actually the Lord's mercy, Lord's love and affection is coming through those material objects, right? So we say that, wow, it is prasadam. So you take it, you eat it, or you put it in your mouth, or you keep it on your head, whatever be it, it is the reciprocation that is the Lord giving us an opportunity for us to come out of sarva dukkana, come out of all the dukkams. How do we do? Whenever we have that understanding, whenever we get that satisfaction, whenever mind is fully fulfilled. So you go to a temple, the moment you go into the temple, we are supposed to forget all our material problems, all our entanglements, and just pray to the Lord and just seek the Lord's blessings or mercy. Then He will take care of it. So that is why temple is a place where temple is also called as alayam, right? Alayam means a place where you get good things, nice things happen. But this entire material world is called as dukkha alayam. Okay, so dukkha alayam is already known. We know this entire material world is full of dukkha. That is why whenever we get an opportunity, we go to the temple. Okay, prasanna chetaso. Chetana means the consciousness. So the threefold mysteries, like in terms of whatever that we call the Rajoguna, Sattoguna, Tamoguna, or the Adi Devic, Adi Baudik, Adhyatmic, whatever be the combination of this, we'll always continue to get a lot of problems. So we know that it is going to come. At least we know that somebody is there behind me. At least we know that Lord is there to protect me. Then we can easily come out of all these aspects. So that is what Krishna concludes with. So in a conclusion way of this chapter, Krishna mentions that particular thing, that only through bhakti, we will be able to do. So he is making it very clear. You know about yourself, you do your karma with intelligence. When you do your karma with intelligence, your mind is controlled, your senses are controlled, then you will be able to come into bhakti. So either through karma yoga, understanding the knowledge is called jnana yoga, getting the knowledge is jnana yoga, and finally the bhakti yoga. Bhakti yoga portion is inclusive of all the other things also. Bhakti yoga is not something like I will leave everything, I'll become a sannyasi, I'll leave out everything, I leave my family life, I just go to no. Bhakti yoga is all about inclusive of all the karma portion also, the jnana portion also, and then the one focused attention of serving the Supreme Lord. Okay, that is called as Bhakti Yoga. It is not that you just sannyasa karma. No, it is not about sannyasa karma. It is all about inclusive of all the activities. Then you do Bhakti. Bhakti here means anything and everything that pleases the Lord. Whatever action that you try to do. Early, like for example, you follow certain austerity, you follow certain tapasya, you are able to do some nice seva. You go to temple for some Raj Bhog, you go for some seva, something. There you go, do little seva is also Krishna is happy, Jagannath is happy. The endeavor that you try to do itself is very happy. In spite of our situations, in spite of our age, in spite of our certain issues, we make an attempt to go there, right? That itself Krishna is happy. Then we try to do some more activity. Then we try to do some more and more happy. Then we try to make our devotees also happy. And that is called as Mahat Seva. Bhagavatam clearly defines what is meant by Bhagavat Seva and Mahat Seva. Bhagavat Seva is nothing but directly serving the Lord, okay, which requires a lot of qualification, a lot of activities, a lot of this one. But Mahat Seva is much more happier, much more pleasing, because Krishna is happy with the Mahat Seva rather than direct Bhagavat Seva. Okay? So Mahat Seva means what? You go and serve the servants of the Lord, which means say Dasanu Dasan, servant of the Lord. So you get an opportunity we go to the temple or we meet somebody, we serve them nicely. When a nice devotee comes to our home, or we go to some place, or when an acharya comes, or when a sannyasi comes, whatever be it, we go and then serve them. Serve them here means not like giving this one a big thing. Menial service is what is more pleasing to Krishna. Anything that can be very small, that is absolutely acceptable to Krishna. So conclusion of the second chapter is all about what? Understanding. It started with Arjuna's lamentation, Arjuna's worry that I will not be able to fight, I will not be able to do these things. And then Arjuna surrenders to the Lord and then say, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know whether what is right or wrong. Please advise. Okay. In the seventh sloka, he surrenders to the Lord. Karpanya dosho madasvabha. So I don't know, with a miserly decision, I'm not able to conclude. So what does Krishna say? He starts giving that jnana. He starts giving that knowledge of first understanding who we are. Atma Sakshakara. That is science of self-realization. You are not the body, you are a different Jivatma, and all Jivatmas are eternally existing, and you should understand that. And all bodies will only get destroyed and goes in a cycle of birth and death, in a very repeated cycle of many, many millions of years, depending upon their karma. You have to continue to perform your karma, but performance of that karma with a steady intelligence, with a knowledge, and then giving up that attachment is very important. So he talks about karma yoga. And then when he completes the karma yoga portion, then Arjuna asks, how do I understand with somebody who is in a very nice position, who is doing all these things very perfectly? Then Krishna starts talking about the person called as sthita. So we start about the sthita and so on. In that one particular section is all about mind control and intelligence. And then the sense control part also. Finally, he concludes that person with all these things will start performing bhakti yoga to get the prasadam. Prasadam arigachiti. Prasadam arigachiti means the mercy or the Lord's blessings will come through as prasadam and nirta. So that becomes the bhakti yoga portion. So in one chapter, he tries to bring the entire summary. And then from the third chapter, he goes very elaborately deep dive into each of the subject matter. It's a karma yoga means how do I understand karma yoga? What is meant by sakama karma yoga? What is meant by nishkama karma yoga? How do I understand the karma concept? And then he goes to jnana yoga. Then he goes to different aspects of knowledge itself. He goes to different concepts of Brahman realization, Paramatma realization, Bhagavan realization. All those knowledge base will come. And then finally gets into a deep dive understanding of the bhakti portion also. Okay, so that is how the Bhagavad Gita is structured in a very, very systematic way. If you go through the study concept, you will be able to understand. Okay. So there are some specific analogies also that we have seen. Analogy is nothing but some kind of story way or a comparative way of understanding the concept, right? Changing shirt, okay? For example, how do we change our shirt when we grow from one particular age to another age? Vasamsi jirnani yata vihaya tata sharirani, like tata sharirani. How our shariram keeps changing, like how we grow from a normal baby to boyhood to youth to an old person. Same way, like how we keep the shirt changing, like this, like our shirt, like whatever shirt that we're wearing 5 years ago, 10 years ago, we'll not be able to wear. Once the growth is completely, keep on moving. Like once the growth is stopped, that's all, right? So we keep changing. Same way, Jivatma also just takes up one particular body to another body to another body and then keeps going. So Jivatma is always returnal. This is one example. Other example that what we saw is the tortoise example. Then the other one is the boat in the waves. We all know, like now we are undergoing a lot of turbulations in our life. There is a boat in a particular big lake or an ocean. It will undergo a lot of waves, a lot of turbulations. The waves will come and go. But a person with a good intelligence, with a proper guidance, will be able to overcome those things and then keep going, right? Similarly, like the wind concept where you have the lamp. So lamp, the light requires wind, but at the same time not heavy wind also. At the same time, no wind also, or the air. Right? So when it is a full blast, it will go away. If it is no air also, it will go away. So it should have the correct things. Right? That is one on that. Okay. And then the other one is well and ocean. Yeah, well and ocean is where there is a concept of a frog in the well. Right? Whatever that somebody wants to fulfill, a well can provide only sufficient, a particular set of water, like particular volume or quantity of water only. But when you go take it to the ocean level, unlimited. So same way, the concept of Vedas is also like in one sense, if you are restricting it to some specific karma portion, it is restricted. But you go beyond that, you have unlimited. So that is all about that. So like this, there are some specific analogies also in second chapter. Buddhiyukto jahasita, a man, this is how the conclusion is. Tasmad yoga say you just by yoga karma should kausalam. So Krishna is giving us what is that? Yoga karma. You have to perform karma with a yoga, which is an art. Like you have to perform that with a particular set of. Okay. The last sloka, Dagadveshu Muktascha Vineshtam Indriyacharan, Atma Vaishyaryatma Prasadam Adhyachi. This is what we saw. Right? So Buddhi Yoga is nothing but performance of our activities with intelligence. Okay. So what is it in second chapter? I'm just trying to conclude again here. Arjuna's lamentation, Atma Sakshataram, Karma, Karma Yoga, mind control and steady intelligence, and then finally devotion service. And some nice slokas are also there in this. This second chapter is Karma Niyama Adhikarishe Mahapaleshu Dadachana. That sloka, and then other slokas are also very how do you say, very famous slokas. But how do we understand? It's just go through this one. So whenever you get time, read through the second chapter very nicely, and then we'll go to the third chapter, fourth chapter, and all little more deep dive analysis. So what is meant by yoga? Yoga has got multiple meanings in different chapters. Yoga means connection with the Lord. Yoga means practice. Yoga means steadiness and focused attention. Yoga means practice. So like that, there are a lot of meanings to the word yoga. I think we will stop here today for the second chapter. Any specific questions before we go to the next section?
Maybe I will ask a question, Prabhuji, on this slide, nature of mind, just now you showed.
Yeah.
So, nature of mind. Okay. So, the third one is pretty much like not fixed, right, Prabhuji? That, sorry, duplicity. The third is equal to duplicity. I mean, changing, depending on the situation, change the stand, right? That's what it means.
Correct. Duplicity, and then falsehood. Like sometimes we, according to that particular person or our situation, we will act accordingly. Like duplicity will have original will be something, but duplicity will be.
So in the Bhagavatam first chapter, Prabhuji says that in Kali Yuga, mind is always disturbed. We have duplicity. We are full of false. Yeah. What was the fourth one?
1 second.
Yeah.
Fighting propensity.
Yeah.
Cheating propensity.
Cheating propensity is the third one. So I'm just thinking the wind, like and jumping, is it really same thing? The wind, turbulent and unstable, right? I'm just thinking aloud. So this is true, Prabhuji. We are always disturbed, especially in cosmopolitans, especially unless, as you said, if we don't engage our mind, for example, our weekend schedule to connect with Krishna. I think just do services or participate in the program. I think we get more and more disturbed. So I think what you suggested, doing seva, is the right thing. So one more thing, Prabhuji, I was thinking for the I think I'm not able to think very clearly, but for each of these, do we have certain methods, or let's say just doing, as you said in the next slides, just engaging our mind in different, I think mainly the services of the Lord, right? We get rid of everything, or there is I cannot recall, but is there any method to deal with each one of them separately? No.
No, each one of them, for example, how do we, this is one way, okay? So for example, these are the top 6 or top 5 you can say, but in which this is the first one, okay? Regulation here means includes of regulated principles, regulated habits, regulated way of doing time management, everything will come in. Once you do this regulation, then the discipline will automatically come. And all these, for this, sometimes meditation is also good. Like you do focused meditation on the Lord, you do some mantra meditation or reading meditation. Those things are also will be helpful to have that agitation brought down. Like, because 90% is all because of the agitation. Like, because it is empty vessels going here and there, then so you just engage that in a proper way. Then, but the challenge is on this withdrawal. So these are all some of the ways, like withdrawal. For example, it's a difficult situation. You need to withdraw out of it. You need to come out of it, because if you go into it, you will definitely get trapped. We know that, right? So we need to be very, very cautious in moving out of the particular situation. And yoga is also like nowadays, the Ashtanga yoga or Hatha yoga is one way good. At least people are engaged in it. But beyond certain point of time, what will happen? It is only for physical stature, fitness point of view is okay. But there is another important fitness point of view is our mental fitness, our steadiness, and so that part many of them leave it. They only just physical fitness they see, but not on the mental fitness. So to have that mental fitness, chanting, reading, all the seva is also very, very important. Okay.
Prabhuji. Thank you. Thank you. It's very helpful.
And these are all Krishna himself says in Bhagavad Gita. Okay. So he is giving some specific examples in which he say you have to have this control, you do follow this procedure, then you will be able to.
Prabhuji, I have a question on.
Yes, go ahead.
Prabhuji, I wanted to ask one question on tolerance. So, tolerance in general, we all understand, is the way we take the things and we just let them go and accept the situation. But many a times the situations come, for example, even Arjuna was in this situation when they tried so many things to not fight. Even Krishna was the peace messenger. But then things didn't work, and ultimately Krishna himself is asking Arjuna to go and fight. So tolerance, Prabhu, how does it fit? To what extent do we tolerate the situations in our own life, Prabhuji? How do we decide? How do we know what is Krishna's will?
Two parts to it, Mataji. The first part is, even though our Krishna went as peace messenger, his original intent was always to have the fight. Okay. Just because Yudhishthira wanted him to go as peace messenger, so Krishna made it very clear. He said, I'm going as a peace messenger because you are asking me to go. But his original intent was Paritrana Sadhana Vinasha Dushkitam. He had already made up that mind. If somehow or other Mahabharata war should happen, and he has to kill all of them, including Bhishma, Drona, everybody. So he had made up that. But still, he wanted to go as a messenger of peace because he wanted to give a chance. He wanted to give a chance through Yudhishthira, but that didn't work out. And then Krishna himself made those specific plans also. He invoked Duryodhana, then he invoked Vidura. Okay, if at all Vidura was not invoked, today Mahabharata would have gone a different direction. Because we all know that. Now I spoke in other section also. Vidura was one of the biggest challenge for Krishna to, because Vidura goes towards the Kauravas, very tough. So somehow other Vidura has to go out of Vidura, Balram. There are some great personalities. So somehow or other, Krishna made those specific plans here and there, and then he made the war. Okay. So all that we have to do is just go by what is Krishna's way. So when you use our intelligence and through association with devotees seeking advice from others, then that procedure is Krishna's way. This is the first part. Second part is about what is the tolerance limit, or what is that to which we are able to tolerate. So there are multiple meters to it also, and then situations also. So depending upon the certain situations, you apply the meter. Like certain situations, it is like completely intolerable, and then you are not able to do. Then you have to act. You have to act against it. You have to perform certain specific things to stop it. Then you have to fight against it. There's no question about it. But at the same time, certain things which you feel like it is just a time waste. It is not going to change. It will anyway change later also. So depending upon that situation, you just maintain that calm and composure for that particular period and tolerance. It will automatically change. But certain situations, as I mentioned, if you're not completely not possible, then you have to go and fight against it. The third situation is what is Krishna is also mentioning through other sections also. You avoid that completely, so that you come out of it, or you just move out of it, and then totally avoid it. That is the last one. But 90% or 70 to 80% is what we face on a normal day, is The situation in which we need to be tolerant, which it will be there only for some period only. Okay, that period is within that for some characters or some personalities on that particular situation only. So all that we need to do is just to focus on that. Only few things we need to go and fight against. Now we are in Kali Yuga, it is not possible to go against fight anybody. That is the situation now. Because in the other yugas, there was sufficient strength, sufficient sadhana, sufficient manpower, sufficient support, everything so that you can go and fight. But Kali Yuga, unfortunately, it is not there. So you cannot go against certain things. Now the situation is like that. Even everybody are saying that it is like the situations are so worst that you cannot take up arm and then go on. So that is what it is. Now the only thing is you just avoid the situation and then come out of it and then have a close to. Okay, what are we?
Thank you,
Prabhuji,
Prabhuji.
one more question on the tolerance now. I think just now. So I think in general, in front of, let's say, let's say, common people or even devotees, a situation come who are very, very provoking in business setting, in business setting, and in personal setting. And then that is a real test of our tolerance, and then we lose control. I mean, sometimes we may lose control for a small thing. So what's your, I mean, to what limit we should tolerate and to what limit we should not? One thing I'm always thinking, one thing I always thought is very helpful, that first of all, see the hand of Krishna in that situation. If you see that ultimately everything has to finish one day, we have to leave the body one day. So why to fight so much? So many times in recent years, this thought come to my mind, and then I started to give up. But I sometimes I don't know what is the right balance, whether giving up is cowardice or just moving on. And many times I saw that if I keep tolerance, then I think things become better eventually. So what's your thought on this, Prabhuji?
Sometimes, yes, Prabhu, nice point, Prabhu. I think you partially said the right point, but sometimes what I also feel is you stand up to it, you put your points thoroughly. It's not that you are fighting against it, certain arguments or certain situations at the office, at the home, or at any other place, but you are always on the right platform or on the right side where you are not going against the dharma, you are always against the person only, right? Nor against or the thinking of that person. So in a way, subtly we have to convey the message that no, I stand by what is truth, and I stand by against that, not against that person, but the person's concept or person's thoughts or person's ideas or person's behavior. So in a way where we need to subtly tell them, like, yeah, hey, personally, you should usually say that personally nothing is there. So even many of them will say, right? Actually speaking, they'll start, which means what? Actually, they're not speaking the original. Okay. So immediately, I think Chaitanya Charanprabhu also the other day was saying, by heart, I don't have anything, but I want to convey, which means there is something. Okay. So in that way, we need to be a little more in a diplomatic way, put it forward. And if still that situation is not there, just leave it. That's all. But sometime or other, they will know that, okay, whatever we had said has gone into their ears and heart. And then it might transform or it might not transform also. But from our side, we have been duty conscious, we have been thorough, we have been rightful, we have been following the procedure. That is okay. Then they will realize, or they will not bother again. Sometimes they will never get that realization also. They will never even, they'll still continue. What to do? I think that is what Kali Yuga, we just have to go accept and then keep going. Even among devotees, even among friends, even within family, children, relatives, it'll continue. There's nothing you can just have to do. That's it.
Thank you, Prabhuji. It's very, very assuring. Thank you very much. So maybe we just want to ask Rohan Prabhu or Mataji and Soumya Mataji, Anna Mataji, any more question, because today is less devotees, so we can ask our questions. So I took that opportunity myself to ask this question. Any question from your side before we go to other points?
Okay.
It's
Annamataji
like
is
all
able
is
to understand, Mataji. Annamataji is recently joined. She is able to understand. புரியுதுங்களா?
புரியுது. I can understand.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, I was also starting and learning.
Yeah.
So listen first, then whatever I can know, then I can answer, ask question. So now I'm learning. So
What is your Mataji is more than 70 years? What is your realization, Mataji? In Singapore, born, brought up, you would have seen all kind of tribulations in Singapore, right? What is that you want to, if you can share something like, what is that you have seen in like through now, in the last 70 years or 50, 60 years?
what I see. Now you ask me, suddenly I don't know what to see. அப்படி என்ன கேக்குறீங்க? என்ன
இப்ப நீங்க இப்ப 70 வயசுல எல்லாம் பார்த்திருப்பீங்க, அப் அண்ட் டவுன்ஸ் பார்த்திருப்பீங்க இல்லையா? எல்லா விதமான இதுவும் அதுல பாக்குறதுல உங்களுக்கு இது வந்து எந்த 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 வழியில உங்களுக்கு வந்து இப்ப இந்த கிருஷ்ண உணர்வு வரதுக்கோ இல்ல பக்தியில வரதுக்கோ எது உங்களுக்கு தூண்டுதா இருந்தது? வாட் மேட் யூ டு கம் டு
what made me okay? Actually, I pray to Lord Shiva, Ganesha, and I pray everybody. I got bhakti, but recently from my daughter, she's in Australia, Perth. She's the one who introduced me to Krishna conscious.
Okay, okay.
So she taught me. So I never read Bhagavad Gita, never read anything. My work is go to work, come home, enjoy, like how how like everybody enjoy, go party, go here. This is what going on. After slowly, when I reach 40, and then I start to pray. No, I said no, enough, stop. We have to go to ritual, like, but ritual in not in Krishna, but other like demigods lah. Okay, I pray to Durga, I pray to Mariamma, all this I pray, all this. Then after that, slowly, my daughter come inside this Krishna conscious. Then she taught me to, go the way. Now I feel like relief like that. Saturday, Sunday I'm not working. I will go out. But nowadays, I feel like not going out. No, I have to do something. Don't waste my time. I think that way. In this 70 years old only for me, எனக்கு அந்த ஞானம் வந்திருக்கு. See, 70 years old. I feel so, I like, after I knowing all this, just this year only I start to, practice this Krishna conscious. This year only, January.
Nice.
But my daughter was 3 years already. She already continue already in Perth. So after that, I come to know, I know to read Mataji, Gopi Mataji taught me Bhagavad Gita, she chanting, everything I start to learn from her. Then I feel so shy about myself. What am I doing this all the year? 70 years old only I come to know all this. I feel so sad and I feel so sorry about myself. I wasted my life like that. And now you see, I make sure I attend whatever the classes going on, even though I can't understand. So I will come and listen. After listening, now I feel like, okay, I know something like, what not to do, what we are supposed to do, what we have to talk, mind our words. Now I'm learning that. No, I mean, I will talk, but I don't talk unnecessarily nowadays.
No, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. See, you are being honest. That itself shows your loyalty and your dedication to Krishna. That itself is very nice, Mataji.
Yes,
many of us come in different ages. 70 is the number, Mataji. Don't worry. I think.
So now I feel relaxed, and then now I know about this. So I'm going on the 13th of October. I'm going to Vrindavan with my daughter.
Very nice.
Yeah, I will be there
for 2 weeks.
Kartik month, right? I'm going there.
Very nice. Very nice.
So I'm going to learn more. That's what my daughter said. Before going there, learn something, mommy. You just cannot just simply go there and just pray. No, you must learn about Krishna. You must learn something. That's why every time I come to Gita Center, I make sure I know about certain things. So I learning.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you.
Very nice sharing, Mataji.
Thank
you. If you need any, when you go to Vrindavan, if you need any support, let us know. Let Sri Narayan Prabhuji know and let me know.
Sure, sure.
So we have some, let's say, devotees there, and
Okay.
they can support you, to be honest, if you need anything over there, because
Sure.
that place,
Mm.
everybody speak Hindi there.
Yeah.
So my spiritual master is Vrindavan. He lives in Vrindavan during that time. My Guru Maharaj, our Guru Maharaj, Anjali, my Guru Maharaj.
Yeah.
And then we have some devotees who speak Hindi and English.
Mm.
So when you go there, if you need any support, let us know. And Prabhu, he has a lot of devotee friend in there. But very nice to hear your story, Mataji. Let us know how can we serve you.
Okay. Sure, sure. Sure.
Okay. Thank you.
Soumya Mataji, Rohan Prabhu, anything from your side? Anything today, maybe a day of realization sharing and things like that. We just.
Nothing specific, Prabhuji.
Mataji, we cannot hear you much.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Nothing specific that I would like to share.
Soumya Mataji, we cannot hear you very. Rohan Prabhuji, maybe you go for you wanted to say something, but it too quiet.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. For me also nothing specific today, but I think your question on the tolerance, I think it cleared some of my doubts as well. In terms of like I also want to know what will be means. I also had a similar question, like what would be the ideal time to be tolerant and then like to start replying to the questions or whatever the conversations is it, but it was a good learning and yeah, nice. Actually this question helped me a lot as well. Yeah,
Thank you for sharing, Prabhuji.
yeah, thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay, Prabhu. I think we can stop here today. Then we can continue maybe Raja Mandal some other day also.
Yes, Prabhuji, we will continue on the next time. But today was, I think, very good discussion, and I think that is very, very helpful. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. So let's loudly chant for Prabhuji. 3 times Hari Bol. You can switch on your mic if you want to do that. Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hari
Hari
Bol.
Hari
Bol.
Bol.
Hari Bol.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare.